for In the News TV Daily. Today is the day. Now, in this video, I summarize and give the exact words that Tekashi 6ix9ine, as he tells on his friends in the history of the Nine Trey Bloods. He spent 2 hours on the stand and didn't hold anything back. You need to watch this video. Like this video before watching because it's a great video, and with the bell notifications on so you don't miss anything. I post exclusive videos, so as soon as they drop, it comes right to your phone. Now let's get into the news. So now in this video, I tried to summarize and leave out certain things, but just bear with me and put 2 and 2 together with my words and my phrases. But it makes sense for anybody that's a fan of 6ix9ine. They understand what I'm saying or what I'm insinuating saying that 6ix9ine is saying during the summary. Now, just yesterday, September 16th, the jury selected 16 jurors who will remain nameless. Now, before the testimony started today, the judge acknowledged that several people were late to the trial. Now, early on the testimony this morning, September 17th, this is the first morning of proof in the trial, and Anthony Ellison for allegedly taking Daniel Hernandez, also known as Tekashi 6ix9ine. Now, the authorities put on a stand an NY agent by the name of Robert Deck to talk about the incident that happened around the Smurf Village in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. They had first stated that 6ix9ine was the second witness in this case, but moved them to the third witness. The new second witness, Miss Ramirez, the girl to Anthony Ellison, in which they dated for a few months. With her, she also has charges for credit card activities. The authorities state that they had dated for a few months. With her also, she has charges of credit card activities. The authorities called the mother again and again to get her to come in to actually testify, and eventually she came in with her mother's permission to come in. She also noted that Ellison might do something to her, but the judge quickly instructed the jury not to consider it or pay attention to it. Now, during the conversation, she admitted that she had conversations with Ellison and that he admitted that he was happy that he was getting fame off of social media for being the person responsible for taking 6ix9ine back in July of 2018. So they did break up, but then they kind of kept contact with each other while he got locked up. So he was happy, feeling good that he had the clout for actually being responsible for something that had something to do with 6ix9ine. During the conversation with the judge, he mentions the lunch hour, which will come soon. Now, while they were interrogating or talking to Ms. Ramirez, she admitted that she was very uneasy about the situation. She claims that she doesn't know what will come after her actually telling on her old friend. Now, the authority figure, Robert Deck, takes the stand. Like I said, 6ix9ine is the third one. Now, Deck says that he worked for the 81st Precinct as a detective squad in the County of Kings. Deck said his route included the Smurf Village, a low-rise housing project on 4th Street in Brooklyn. On the night of October 24th, 2018, it was a lot of activity that night. It started out around 8:50 p.m. when someone got their face buck 50. You guys do the math on what I'm talking about. Now, Deck found a person who was hit in the back and couldn't move. They found shells on 1700 Fulton Street. They took a break and came back around 1 p.m. Now, according to the U.S. District Attorney, Jonathan Behold, he says that the Nine Treys are proven to be responsible for a lot of things. He said in the coming days you'll learn about the slang of the crew and the internal problems that they have. They're trying to tie Ellison with that incident that happened on October 24th and then actually a taking of 6ix9ine in July. Now, the other guy in the case, Mac, he's accused of being linked to selling e-pills, and he also tried to have a top-ranked member of the crew handled. Now, the attorney claims that it will be proven by the testimony of the authorities and the actual doctor who looked after 6ix9ine after that incident happened. He also says that a cell phone tower shows records where Ellison was, and they also have wiretaps proving of the dealing. Then you'll finally hear the testimony of Hernandez's driver, that's 6ix9ine's driver, along with others. Now, Mac's lawyer, his name is Alex Holt, says, "This case is just trying to make my client a guilty by association. This case is about labeling Nine Trey." The lawyer then compares Nine Trey to a college fraternity. He says that if someone from another school does something with the same fraternity, and he's saying that that doesn't make that one person responsible since they are part of the same attorney. He also tells the court that you'll hear the first witness, Daniel Hernandez, also known as 6ix9ine, who is described or labeled himself as the King of New York, and he had a lot of beefs on social media. He says that 6ix9ine doesn't know Mac, and he just knows of his doings, and that everything is hearsay. His lawyer also says that the taking of 6ix9ine is definitely not real, and it was something made up by the rapper to promote his music. Now, speaking of 6ix9ine, this is where everyone wants to hear. He officially started to speak on the stand around 2:10 p.m. and things started to turn quickly towards the songs that he made. It was Gummo and Kuda. And they also talk about the person who runs Smurf Village in Bed-Stuy. Now here is exactly what's being said. Now he says, Your Honor, the Gov calls Daniel Hernandez, and Daniel is definitely, or 6ix9ine is definitely wearing the federal blues. I know I reported before that he wanted to wear a suit, but I think it didn't work out, or maybe it was just hearsay because he definitely has the blues on. Now it says, they asked 6ix9ine where he's from. He says he's from Bushwick, Brooklyn. And they asked, how far along did you get in school? He said he completed the 10th grade. Now they asked him, when did he start to stay in the feds? And when did you start cooperating? He said that he started to talk the next day he was locked up. He said the next day that they were taken down, he was cooperating, telling on his friends. Now they asked, were you in the gang? 6ix9ine says, yes, I was in the Nine Trey Bloods. He was also asked, do you recognize anyone in the court? Now this is when 6ix9ine says, yes, I know Anthony Ellison, he has a gray suit on, and I know Mac, he has a brown suit on. Now they asked him, where did he go to school? He said he went to PS 59, Campo Middle School, and Legacy High School. They asked, did he work? He said he started working at 13 and his first job was at Youth Co. He did that for around 2 months, but he didn't make a lot, so he started to clean tables with his brother. Then he did grocery store delivery for 2 years. Then he didn't have another job. He started to become a rapper. A guy by the name of Peter Rogers came into the store. He worked at 2014 to buy food and asked 6ix9ine, was he a rapper? He thought he looked cool and he wanted him to kind of transform to like a rock and roll type of rapper. Now he toured out of the country, and all of the shows that he did out the country, he only made around $2,000 in profit. Now 6ix9ine explained that he did the tour just for experience. His rapping or his style changed around September of 2017. Now, but before he changed the style of rap, he liked a guy by the name of Kuda. He thought he was very talented, so he named a song after him. Now, once they kind of established the name of Kuda, they actually, a video that 6ix9ine made by the name of Kuda that he was talking about, and this was filmed in Brooklyn at the intersection of Fulton Avenue and Utica. This is near Smurf Village, where it's a lot of Nine Trey members that live there. Then the court actually plays the song by Kuda. Now, mind you, they play the song very loud, and this is when 6ix9ine starts to explain his lyrics. Then they ask for a break, so the judge gave him a break. So now, picking up from the last segment, it started to run around like a little bit past 4 p.m. Now 6ix9ine started to describe the structure of gangs in the streets and being locked up all together, basically how they all tied together. I started to ask, when did you become a member of Nine Trey? He said November of 2017. Now they were asking him, how were you welcomed in? And 6ix9ine said you had to hit your 31. Now 6ix9ine explained what 31 meant. It's usually $150 to someone's face. Now 6ix9ine said he never did it, but he had to keep making hits and providing financial support to his gang, and he had to supply money for the strap. In return, that Nine Trey, 6ix9ine said that he admitted that he helped gain his career to new levels. He got the gang credibility and protection from the gang. They then asked 6ix9ine if he would demonstrate the handshake for Nine Treys. 6ix9ine said he would have to do it with another person to show the handshake, but then he started to do it with both of his hands. He stood up so the jury can actually see him doing the demonstration. He said he learned the initial handshake from doing it with his former manager by the name of Shotty. He said that the 9 with the index finger and your thumb. He said he actually learned that from Nuke when showed him how to hold up a sign. Now 6ix9ine did admit that he was getting the hang of the handshake. He said at one time at a club in Brooklyn, it's called Angels, and he wasn't holding the sign up right or displaying the sign right in the club. Now someone pulled him to the side and said, if you're going to be Nine Trey, you have to make the right sign. Now they show a video, and with the video they actually freeze frame it. They asked him to identify one person. Now he says the one person with the LA hat on, he didn't know who it was, but the other person in the video is called Melly Matrix, by a lot of people call him Mel M. He says he's wearing a Cincinnati Reds hat. And 6ix9ine explains that he's basically the grandfather of the Nine Trey Bloods, also known as Melly Matrix. They then asked him, does Nine Trey Bloods have a relationship, like a structure or a leadership structure? 6ix9ine says yes. They have a street lineup and they also have a lineup when you're locked up. He explained the lineup while locked up is definitely a higher status than a person in the streets, which kind of didn't make sense to me. Now 6ix9ine explained that the levels of the lineup in the street, it goes from the G-Father, the Twins, and then the last one is the 5-star General. He says Melly Matrix was definitely the father. Right under Melly Matrix was Shotty, And then there was another guy he was a 5-star member. His name is Seiko Bill. 6ix9ine explains that Shotty told him that if he would take care of the people who are locked up behind the wall, that they would definitely take care of him. Now after that, the day was finished and everyone kind of left home and went home. Everything is back on for bright and early tomorrow when 6ix9ine finishes his actual testimony. Now my thing with this is I just gotta shake my head about the situation. It's like when you really think about it, people always say, man, he's ratting on 2 people, it's not that much. But when you really think about it, he's giving up inside information on the Nine Trey Bloods. Like, I would have never knew that with a 31 minutes, I would never know what they're throwing up the signs, and he's giving it all out on the platter. So it looks like 6ix9ine is definitely not just telling on 2 people, but he's telling on the whole Nine Trey Bloods, which is great. Now I understand why his family can't come, because he's giving it up on everybody. Just imagine once we get deep into this case and he explains a lot of stuff. He knows the G father, Melly Matrix, even though he used to be a rapper, he knows, I'm sure he knows hearsay, even though a lot of this information is probably hearsay, but he knows a lot of stuff behind the scenes that he'll definitely prove or definitely speak about in court. Now, man, let's talk about this in the comments. How do you feel about this? Me personally, man, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I lost a lot of respect for 6ix9ine since this situation. Now make sure you comment below, tell me what you think, and vote at the top right of this video. I'm in the news with it, and I'll catch you tomorrow once we get on day 2 of the testimony. I'm signing out.